welcome back to Pikehiker's Guide to the Universe, the Star Citizen universe. We're going to go online here and start making some money. So this is the new interface for version 11, and you can see on the right hand side we have a friends screen, a notifications screen. On the left we have our module selection, which is the persistent universe, which is the online game, which is what I'm going to be playing. You have Star Marine, which is the FPS action game, and then you have Arena Commander, which is the kind of dogfighting and flight fighting module. You have the options screen, which we're not going to go into today. I've got all my options set. And we have the quick game button. All right, so we're going to get started. We're going to go into the persistent universe. And we are selecting the Stanton system. I believe you can get to your hangars from here. We're not going to get into the hangars yet, but we're just going to start into the Stanton system. And we're going to go ahead and visit the location. And this should load us up into, let's see, where do I think I am? I think I'm in Lorville on the planet Hurston. It's kind of my base of where I operate out of. So hopefully we'll load in at Lorville or somewhere close to Lorville, and we'll pick up a contract and get going on making some money. Alright, so here we are loading up in the game, and I guess that's our signal to turn off the chat. So went ahead and turned that off so we don't have to deal with that. We're going to go ahead and get out of our bed and head downstairs. Looks like we're at 74% or 75% on our hydration and about 94% on our nutrition. So we might need to stop somewhere and get some water. Go ahead and make sure I have my helmet on, which I do. Once we get down to the ground floor, we will go ahead and pull up our Moby glass. See if we can't find some kind of a contract to accept. So before we go any further, let's go ahead and pull up our Moby glass and go to our contract section. So basically, under contracts, we've talked about this before. We had the general, personal, and are accepted. So right now we have 5 general delivery missions available. And when they say general and there's 5 available, that means there's 5 available for me and I believe everybody else that's playing. And if someone else were to accept one of these missions, it would disappear off the screen and be replaced with a new mission. Personal would be missions that only I can accept. They're just for me. We could do delivery, service beacons, investigations, maintenance, bounty hunter, or mercenary. So there's a lot of different ways that you can make money in the game. We're going to start off with delivery, and we're going to be delivering some packages. And the reason why I want to start off with delivery is because it doesn't cost me any money up front. Investigations don't cost you any money up front other than you're going to be going to a planet And you're going to be looking for somebody who is lost. Most likely they're going to be in a cave. And while you're in that cave, you could actually do some hand mining, but that would require you to go purchase a suit that has a rucksack in it so that you could store the mining stuff. So, although indirectly that's going to cost you some money, but indirectly everything's going to cost you some money. Even the delivery is going to cost you money because you're using fuel and you're putting wear and tear on your ship that you're going to have to pay for. So just understand that as opposed to doing like a cargo run, like picking up cargo at one location and delivering it to another location, where you would have to invest money in the cargo up front. In doing mining, you have to invest money in mining equipment up front. You have to buy mining equipment, or you have to buy a mining ship, or rent a mining ship to get started in mining. So, although we will do some mining, that's probably going to come a little later on in the process. So one of the easiest things you can do is deliver some packages. So since we're here on Hurston at Lorville, we're going to see what kind of delivery routes are available to us. As you can see right here, this particular delivery route that I have highlighted in the middle section pays 8,000 AUEC, okay, and it requires that we pick up 3 packages and deliver them all to a particular location. So what we're going to do here is look at these different deliveries, and I'm going to see where we need to pick up. So here we need to pick up on Ariel, Aberdeen, and Hurston. Here we're picking up on Ariel, Hurston, and Everest Harbor. So I think we're going to take this one because I kind of want to pick up from Everest Harbor, but we'll see if there's another one available. And I don't see one, so let's go ahead and take this offer. Alright, so once we've accepted it, we're going to see it over here on the accepted, and we're going to see a list of our primary objectives. Now we can collect these packages in any order. We don't have to pick them up in the order they are listed. If I wanted to abandon this or just cancel this delivery or this contract, I would just hit the abandon. If I wanted to accept multiple deliveries, I could go back here in the general, and I could pick a second one and accept that offer too. And you'll see over here now in my accepted I have 2, and on one of them I have a magnifying glass, which means that's the one that I'm currently working or tracking. If I wanted to, I could untrack it, and right now if you can look at my screen, you'll see that I have these little blue squares that are indicating directions with a little arrow on them. So I am tracking that mission, so these are my indicators as to where I need to go. If I were to untrack this mission, those indicators would go away, and I could go up here and click on this mission and track it, and the indicators would show up for that particular mission. Alright, so we're not going to run this mission, so I'm going to go ahead and abandon that one, and we're going to go back and track the original mission that we started with. So just know that you can track and untrack missions. You can also share missions with your friends, and then they can join you on the missions and run them with you. Right, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this, and to get started we're going to need to go to the TISA spaceport, get a ship, and start picking up these packages. So that's what we're going to do here in this next little section, and I'll probably speed up the video as you've kind of seen this before. So here we are at the vehicle retrieval console. And in order to run package missions, you need to have a ship that you can put packages in. A lot of the light fighters you would not be able to use to run delivery missions. If you get directly into the cockpit and you are directly into the captain's chair when you enter a ship, then most likely you would not be able to use that ship for running packages. If you have a ship that you can walk into a door and there's a little area for you to walk around in, maybe there's a bed, and then you enter into the cockpit and you can get into the captain's chair, most likely you could use that vehicle to run the package deliveries. Most light fighters cannot do that. The Banu Defender, for example, can, because you can get into that ship through a door, and the cockpit is a separate thing. Alright, so just keep that in mind. It does not have to be a cargo ship. And if you can see here, the ships that are listed here with 0. So it doesn't necessarily mean you can't run a package. You can, even though you have 0 cargo. It just means you can't carry cargo. You can't pick up cargo at a cargo terminal, carry it from one location and sell it at another location at the cargo terminal there. For this mission, we're going to go ahead and run the Drake Cutlass Black. It does have cargo, but it's not what I'm going to be using it for. We are just going to use the Cutlass Black in this example. Alright, and that's going to be at Hangar 9. So we're going to head over to Hangar 9 and pick up our ship. Here's our Cutlass Black, and one of the reasons why I wanted to pick the Cutlass Black is because this particular ship has the engines that can do the VTOL, so vertical takeoff and landing. And remember, I'm going to be using voice attack and the voice packs here for my communications. The commander is on board.
Greetings. Welcome to the stream.
So that was me just letting the computer know that I was on board. Number 1, I have the comm.
Ship online.
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft.
Contact departure services. Contact departure services.
You are clear to launch.
So I think we're going to go to Everest Harbor first, because I know I can get something to drink there, and we have a package there that we need to pick up. So that's where we'll head first. Launch.
Ascending. Attractive modules.
Alright, so we'll go into third-person view here. Number 1, ready the ship for flight.
Confirm. Pressurizing.
So you can see how that adjusted the VTOL for me. Alright, we're going to try and find our spline here. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and try and climb up here and get going.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Engage cruise control.
As you wish.
Let's see which one of these is going to be Everest Harbor or either one of those. So let's see if we can get to Everest Harbor. It might be below us. Nope, looks like it's right there. Spool jump drive.
That's affirmative.
So everything is red while we're heading out into the atmosphere. Once we get outside the atmosphere, we should start getting an indication that we can jump. Engage jump drive on my mark.
Standing
Engage.
by. Okay. Executing.
Quantum drive is now off.
Disengage cruise control.
Acknowledged, Commander.
Seems to be speaking awfully low today. Hopefully you guys can hear him in the background responding to me.
I'm sensitive, you know.
Okay. I'm going to assume that was a ship flying by us that was in quantum. Contact landing services.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
So they should, there we go. So it's pointing us over here to land. And not sure exactly where it is we're going to be landing. So the green outline kind of gives me a clue. You can see down there on the right, there's a green outline on a landing pad. That's kind of telling me where I'm going to be landing, and it's got my marker on it. Number 1, ready the ship for landing.
Confirmed. The landing gear is down
Landing
and
gear
locked.
down.
Alright. Go ahead and try and get on the pad here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get inside of this little green box. And then I'm going to do an auto land. Auto land.
Automated landing
Automated
enabled.
landing.
So you don't have to auto land, and I'm just giving an example here of auto landing will take your ship and land it for you onto the pad.
Landing complete.
And you can do that when you're over a pad or if you're going into a hangar.
Landing complete. Have a
And-
pleasant stay.
Thank you. And you get within the green bounding box there that we saw outlined with the flashing lines. You can sometimes do the auto land. It's very helpful when you have larger ships like the Caterpillar or any really large ship that you would have trouble maneuvering. The auto land can be very helpful as far as getting you down on the pad. Normally in this size ship or a fighter or something along those lines, you would not use the auto land unless you're just being lazy, which I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to that. So a lot of times I'll use the auto land even when I don't need to. Number 1, you have the helm.
Okay.
Alright, so remember in our first video that just issues the Y command and gets me out of the chair. So I would suggest whenever you land somewhere that you close your doors so that the pirates cannot get on your ship and unwanted personnel cannot get on your ship and stow away without you knowing about it, because a lot of times the pirates will enter your ship. They will hide out in your ship, and as you're flying they will sometimes the grayfish will just kill you. The pirates will normally just take your ship off the pad and fly it away and then come out, contact you and try and get you to pay them a ransom, especially if it's cargo. It's carrying cargo. So we're on pad 02. We go down to the lobby. So it's always a good idea when you land to and exit your ship to close all the doors and secure your ship. So Everest Harbor is just a space station that's above the planet Hurston, kind of like Port Olisar is the space station above Crusader, and I think it's Port Tressler is at Area 18, or is it New Babbage? One of those two. I don't remember. Alright, let's go over here to the burrito bar and get some water since we're down to 64%. We're going to go ahead and take our helmet off, pull down F, right click, actions, item actions, unequip helmet. Let's see if we can get something to drink. Go ahead and buy some water. See, I don't know if it took it the first time. There we go. And I'm just left clicking my mouse, so I'm just going to gulp it down. And I'm holding down the mouse button. Alright, we're at 100%. Let's see if it'll let us put this bottle up on the table. Hold down the F key, try and locate it. I want to place it right there. Oh, it stayed there that time. Normally it just, well, there you go. Now it just disappeared, which is what normally happens. The bottle usually just vanishes. Alright, let's see if we can find our package here. We have a pickup and it's 299 meters away. So probably going to be, it's either going to be in the admin office, which would be in the Galleria, or it could be in the cargo center. We'll check the cargo center first and see if our package is in the cargo center. So the cargo centers are new in version 11. They are not complete, but they are a totally new asset that was never in the game before, and those elevators weren't in the game before in these spaceports. So let's see here. It looks like our package is going to be over here in the cargo area as opposed to going to the admin office. You can see right there the blue box or the blue indicator is there to pick up our package, and it's 10 meters away. So it's going to be stored in that Covalex box. And the Covalex boxes can be used to pick up packages or drop off. They can be used for either. But let's just look at our cargo area here real quick. So in the cargo area now, you can do some shopping. You can buy items just like you could in any of the other stores. Just go up to an item, look at it. You can try it on, or you can buy it directly. So it looks like in the cargo area right now, we have
Hi,
some...
welcome to the store.
Hello. We've got some spacesuits. We've got some street clothes. We've got some consoles that we can use to purchase items. And over here we have some rucksacks, some jackets, and the Grey Cat utility tool, which is always handy. So that's what you use for hand binding, and also you can use it for cutting into ships that are locked. I believe you can buy like a little circular cutting head for it. So when you buy the utility tool, you have to buy the two heads. So there's a head for it, there's a head for it, and that's the actual utility tool. So you would have to buy each one of the heads. Speaking of heads, there's some heads. I guess you can buy some heads here. Or we're missing some hats, I guess. Right, so that looks like about it for what you can buy here. I don't see any ship goods here. Alright, so let's go ahead but there is some water, some food. So if you're looking for food and water and you're on a place that has a cargo area, you should be able to get some food and water at the cargo area. We're going to go ahead and pick up our package here. So there's a pickup area and there's a drop-off area. So we're going to go ahead and do pickup. See if our package is available. If it were to fail for some reason and come up empty, you could just wait a couple seconds, back away from it, and then try again. Alright, so we're going to take our package back to our ship. Take it in this direction. Still new, still learning my way around. Okay, so we're going to head right back to our ship. Our ship is currently on the pad. If we leave it sitting there too long, the landing services will start to complain, and eventually they will store our ship for us without us asking them to. And that's fine if they do. Even if it's full of cargo, they're storing the cargo also, so it's no big deal if they store it, other than you will just have to recall it again using one of the consoles. But for right now, we should still be on pad number 2. So we're just going to head out to pad number 2. So you can see our ship indicator is right there. It's telling us what pad it is on, and we're getting closer and closer to it. normally your ship will be to your right when you're in the elevator at most locations. It'll be, so if you're not sure, oh, so we forgot our helmet. You could hear me start choking there. So we got something to drink earlier. So let's go ahead and put our helmet back on. I could have died right there. Alright, our helmet is back on, so now we're safe to go outside. But you can see now down there on the bottom left, you can see my health is like 42%.
We're sorry. You've exceeded the allotted time to depart.
Oh no.
We will have to return your ship to storage.
Well, I probably don't have enough time to get into the
Initiating
ship.
ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
Put the box down and get in control and get it off the pad before they store it. And even if I did fly it away, they probably would.
Initiating ship
The
storage
game may
procedure.
still store it.
For your
So we're going to
safety,
go ahead
please
down
vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
and recall it. Could have probably done it if I had had my helmet on. So I'm going to be good at showing you what you can do or what you should do, and also what you should not do, because trust me, I will do a lot of things I should not do in the game, like walking around without my helmet on. See if they've stored our ship yet. Okay, it is stored, so we're going to go ahead and retrieve it again. It'll probably put it back on pad 2. It did. So I could use a medi pen and get my health back up. Hopefully I won't pull that stun again, and my health will hopefully go slowly up without me having to use the medi pen, or I should be able to make it through the rest of this mission without having to use the medi pen, and then of course my health will go back to 100% when if I were to die and respawn. Alright. Let's go ahead and put our package down here. So we'll hold down the F key and click place, and then kind of find a spot to put it. Alright. Package number 1 in the cargo hold. Show star map.
As you wish.
Alright, so we're going to see where we're going to go next here. We're just going to scroll out and find another package. So there's a pickup over here on Ariel, which is pretty close by. I think the other one was A2R L2. Yeah, so we have... So we could either go to... and we'll just go to Ariel. Alright, so we're just going to set a route for Ariel. Number 1, I have the comm.
Ship online.
Okay, now we don't really need to contact landing services, but I'm going to go ahead and contact them.
Systems are online.
Contact departure services.
You are clear to launch.
Alright, launch.
Ascending to 30 meters. Retracting modules. Handing you the coordinates.
Number 1, ready the ship for flight.
Gear up.
Confirm. Pressurizing.
Spool jump drive.
Aye, Commander.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Engage jump drive on my mark.
Okay.
Engage.
Jump.
Quantum drive is now
So when I get you a command and say on my mark, I've issued the command and the game is now, the voice attack pauses,
is now off.
and that's part of the HCS voice packs. There's that pause built in so it understands when you say on my mark, it means don't immediately issue the command, wait, and then I can either say mark or engage or some other keywords that could possibly get the action to happen. If I just wanted to quickly have the action happen, I would just issue the action without the on my mark, and it would just make the action happen immediately. So I like to use the on my mark, especially when spooling, because the spooling has to spool up, so it's always just seems like it's more natural to me that I can issue the command and wait for it to finish spooling up. Spool jump drive.
That's affirmative.
Engage jump drive on my mark.
Okay.
Engage.
Hyperspace jump
Quantum
engaging.
drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Engage cruise control.
Affirmative, Commander.
Alright, so we're going to make our way down to our next pickup point, which I believe is at one of the Hurston Dynamics mining stations. And a lot of times at these outposts on some of the moons and on some of the planets, you'll be able to refuel. If there's like a landing pad there, you can often refuel. So you just have to check. It's not 100% of the time, but at most of them, if you see an actual landing pad, you should be able to do some refueling. And we'll see if this one has a landing pad. A lot of the mining sites have the landing pads. Disengage cruise control.
That's affirmative.
So I like to kind of fly in under my own command once I get to a certain point. And I like to turn the cruise control off, because if I forget to do that, then I'll usually crash into the site or fly by it. So this site looks like it has some landing pads on it. And we'll go ahead and get the ship ready for landing. Change camera.
Change camera.
So while I'm out here, I'm gonna change camera.
Affirmative.
Change camera.
Change camera.
I'm gonna hold down the Z key and kind of get my camera located above the top of my ship. Change camera.
Change camera.
That way when I'm over the pad, I can kind of see better where I am. Don't have to do that. Number one, ready the ship for landing.
Confirmed.
Change
The
camera.
landing gear is down and locked. Change camera.
Change camera.
Change camera.
Number 1, you have the helm.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to come out here and try and pick up our second package. So when you're landing at some of these stations, close the door. Kind of our indicator over here that where our package is in that building. So you're going to see this building here that has like the orange lights and the like the mast with the orange on it. That usually means that's where the trading console is going to be. So if you're doing cargo runs or anything like that, you would be going into that building with the orange mast. Some locations will have a building with a blue mast. Let's see, is that a blue mast? Yes, so that's got a blue mast on it and the building is blue. So normally that means you can go into that building and there'll be a console there where you can pull up your land vehicle. And you can call a land vehicle if you have one. And then you'd be able to, it would put it out on the pad here and you'd be able to get into your land vehicle and then drive around on the planet. Okay, so that's the difference between the blue and the orange. And we're going to go ahead over here. See if we can jump. You can also see that the planet here is a little bit cold, or actually this one is kind of hot. It's plus 198 degrees centigrade. And you can see that based on the suit that I'm wearing, my survival estimate time is 11 minutes and 40 seconds. If I had on a stronger armor suit, then I could probably last a little longer. If I had less armor on than what I have, or less protection on than what I have, then I would last a lot less. So kind of an indicator there, and you'll hear the little dinging in the background. That kind of means, you know, something you got to pay attention to. All right, so here's our package right here. So you can see this one just happens to be on a desk. It's not in a Covalex or anything like that. It could be on a desk, could be on a bed, could be on a shelf. It all depends on where you're going and the location. You can also see the indicator here above the door that this is the exit. Some of the places that you go will have different doors and different symbols that they use on those doors to indicate where that door will take you if you get lost. Now when you're carrying packages, you can only go a certain speed. And depending on the package, and I think depending on the gravity of the planet, kind of controls what speed you can travel at. You can't run. You can't sprint. So this is as fast as it's going to let me move right now. Open door.
That's affirmative.
Yeah. Not sure what the command is for open door. If there is one. Maybe I'll make one. Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put this package down. Place it. Package number 2 is in the hold. Alright, and I think the next one was at HURL2. Number 1, I have the comm.
Ship online.
Okay. Let's go ahead and show star map. Show star map.
Affirmative.
Let's Star map is not responding. Close star map. Close star map.
Acknowledged, Commander.
Launch.
Ascending to 30 meters. Retracting modules.
Okay, so when I say launch, all it does is lift me off the pad and takes me up to supposedly 30 meters. And then it retracts the landing gear for me, so I don't have to think about those and don't have to issue the commands. Number 1, ready the ship for flight.
Confirmed into the com.
Okay, and that only takes over the VTOL and changes the engine orientation. And let's see here.
Hydrogen fuel is at 75%.
There's our drop off. Where's our pickup at? Show star map.
That's affirmative, Commander.
Alright, so now let's see if we can map our way to HURL2. And see if that's underneath us. Kind of looks like it might be underneath us. And it is, so that's not something we can jump to. We're going to have to jump to an outer marker first. So engage cruise control. Now hard to start heading up here. Show star map. We're gonna clear our route. Close star map.
Aye, Commander.
Spool jump drive.
Affirmative, Commander.
Alright, we're gonna find somewhere close by that we can jump to. Everest Harbor's not that far away. I'd rather find something closer. See if we can find an outer marker here. There we go, outer marker 5 looks good. So I'm going to let the jump drive spool all the way up, and then I'm just going to issue the command, which is engage jump drive. Engage jump drive.
Jumping.
Show star map.
Affirmative, Commander.
Let's see if we can jump to HURL2 now. Okay, it's telling us we're going to have to go to outer marker 1 first, and then we can go to HURL2. Alright, spool jump drive. Sorry, spool jump drive. Spool jump drive.
That's affirmative, Commander.
Engage jump drive on my mark.
Standing by.
Engage.
Engaging jump.
Spool jump drive.
Acknowledged, Commander.
Engage jump drive on my mark.
Standing by.
Spool jump drive.
Aye, Commander.
Spool jump drive.
Affirmative, Commander. Cancelled.
So right now it doesn't seem to be spooling. Show star map.
That's affirmative.
Oh. So that's our drop-off point. So let's try this again. HURL2. Set route. Close star map.
As you wish.
Spool jump drive.
Aye, Commander.
So this is where it gets a little, like, you got all these boxes on the screen. Okay, I'm not seeing my triangle that I need to show me what direction to go. I'm just seeing all these boxes, and 2 of them are in my cargo hold, and 1 of them is kind of in the direction I need to be going. So trying to figure out which one of these I'm supposed to point to is sometimes a little difficult. Engage jump drive on my mark.
Okay.
Engage.
Jump.
Quantum drive is now
So it'd be nice if they would, like, once you have the cargo in your hold, that they change the color of the box so you know you don't have to direct yourself towards that one. Or something along those lines, because when you get all these boxes, you have 4 of them on the screen, all kind of sometimes swirling around and trying to figure out which direction you're supposed to go. A little difficult. You will experience that also, I'm sure. My health does not seem to be going up, so that's okay. It's not going down either. My nutrition is going down.
drive is now off.
Engage cruise control.
That's affirmative, Commander.
Alright, so since we're in cooldown mode, I guess it's not going to let me engage cruise control.
Acknowledged,
There we go.
Commander.
Cooldown mode should not be affecting my thrust. But I guess it does. So we're still 50 some kilometers away, so we're gonna go at this thing full thruster speed. And try not to hit any of these asteroids. And a lot of these gravity wells are located in asteroid belts. So all of your like HURs and your ARC space stations and all of those are going to be in these. Disengage cruise control.
Acknowledged, Commander.
So from going full thruster to stopping is really kind of slow. So I'm going to hold down the S key here. Contact landing services, which is my reverse thruster, which is trying to help slow me down.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Alright, let's see where they got us. So looks like they have us right there. And then I just have to figure out which way is right side up. And I kind of think this way might be right side up. But I'm probably wrong. And I was wrong. Number 1, ready the ship for landing.
Confirmed. Landing gear deployed.
Landing gear down. Landing complete.
Number 1,
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Moby Glass. Show Moby Glass. Alright, so let's see here. On this one, if we were to go to the tools, we do have the ability to do any kind of repairs we need to do, and to buy hydrogen fuel and quantum fuel. So you can see how much fuel we're using to run these missions. Now, by the time this is done, we're going to probably cost us 1,000 AUEC, if we're not already there, or maybe a little more. And we're making 8,000, so you know we're gonna net 7,000 AUEC if we restock the vehicle. But you're gonna see we don't restock the vehicle. All we're gonna do is store it, and then the next time we pull it out, it should be fully loaded with fuel, and we don't have to spend the money. Number 1, you have the helm. Number 1, you have the comm.
Okay.
So the voice attack is not perfect, but then again, my microphone is probably not perfect, and speech recognition is not perfect, and I don't always speak clearly and there's all kinds of reasons for the voice system not to respond the first time every time, but still, for the most part, it's pretty reliable. And if it doesn't work, you just have to say the command again. Worst case scenario, if the command is not working, then you use the keyboard command and do it the old-fashioned way. Right, so we're on pad 04. I don't believe that this location is going to have a cargo area, so this will probably be in the admin office. Come on. Go to the lobby. So we should still have the internal elevator system, or the interstation elevator system, whatever they're calling it. We just have to remember that we're on pad 04. Excuse me. Well, I have pretty good luck with the elevators here today, so we're going to go to the Galleria. The admin office is probably in the Galleria. See, it may be upstairs, it may be downstairs. It looks like it's upstairs in this particular location. So we're going to head upstairs. Pick up our box. Okay, then this is also where trading consoles are located inside of the admin office. And there's also some inside of the different cities on the different planets. But most space stations have trading consoles, but again, trading is where you're picking up cargo and carrying it from one location to another, and it's limited as to what they will accept as cargo, and not all locations accept the same cargo, and not all locations will let you pick up, the same kind of cargo. They have different cargo available at the different locations. We're not going to look around in here, but just understand there are stores in here that you can do some shopping, and you could probably find food in here. Right down there, see, that's live fire weapons straight ahead if you wanted to go in there and buy some weapons. Sidearm, rifle, medi pens, oxygen pens. Ammunition, scopes, suppressors, all that kind of stuff for your sidearms and your armaments, personal arms. You could buy there at that location. Alright, so we're going to head back to our ship, and that's on pad 04. It tells us that straight ahead of us, but right now it's got all these boxes and little indicators, too many indicators. Pad 04. So like if I try and look at it, it's got too much information in there because I've got 2 packages inside the ship right now. So again, they could probably do something about the clutter. Open the pod bay door, Hal. Guess not.
Affirmative, Commander.
Alright, we're going to place this package down. Right there. Alright, let's go to our final destination and try and drop these packages off so we can get paid. Still not done yet. We've invested all the time, but we still have not delivered the packages. Launch.
Ascending,
Launch
retracting
complete.
modules, handing you the call.
Landing gear up.
Spool jump drive.
That's affirmative, Commander.
Ready the ship for flight. Number 1, ready the ship for flight.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Number 1, ready the ship for flight.
Confirm. Pressurizing.
Engage jump drive.
Jumping.
Quantum drive is now
Alright, so show Moby Glass. Show Moby Glass. See where we're going here. We are dropping these off at the HDMS Hadley. Okay.
quantum drive is now off.
So, I bet you've always wanted to be a pilot, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Spool jump drive.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Engage jump drive on my mark.
Standing by.
Mark.
Hyperspace jump.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Engage cruise control.
Okay.
Number 1. Are you there? Number 1. Are you there? Number 1 has fallen asleep. Change camera.
Changing camera.
Oh, change camera. Change camera.
Change camera.
So you heard there that I think because I had said number 1 before, change to chase as opposed to legend. So you heard chase there for a second. Disengage cruise control.
Acknowledged.
Number 1, ready the ship for landing.
Confirmed. Landing modules deployed.
Landing gear down.
change camera.
I'm sensitive, you know.
Change camera.
Change camera.
Number 1, you have the comm.
Okay.
Alright, let's drop these packages off. Now, we don't have to land on the pad. We could have landed over here in an open area and gotten a lot closer to the door, so we wouldn't have to walk as much. But that's not realistic. That's not immersive. We want to follow the rules. Alright, so what I'm going to try and do here is place this package in the airlock here. And go get another package. Hopefully we don't lose anything. Probably should have landed on this other pad. It seems to be closer. But that's okay. We are where we are. Alright, so now that we have all 3 packages inside here, we'll go ahead and drop them off one at a time. And then same kind of thing when you're dropping off. Sometimes it'll error out and it won't accept the package, or if you're at the wrong location, it won't accept the package. We're getting a green thumbs up. That means it took the package. We're good to go. Pick up another package. How are you doing today? Just dropping off some packages. Be out of your hair in a minute. Alright. One more. I had 3. So hopefully we'll get a thumbs up. We'll get a confirmation we've completed our objective. And we've been awarded 8,000 AUEC to our bank. So this is a trading console where you could pick up the goods. We can use this real quick, and then we're not going to do anything right now, but I could because I do have a ship that has some cargo area on it. So at this location we could pick up aluminum or corundum, and this is the price it is here, $1.11, and for the corundum it's $2.30. So the higher the price, or the higher the cost, usually the higher the selling price, and therefore the higher the profit. But you're investing more of your own cash to be able to pull that product. So you have to buy that product here, put it in your cargo hold, and then carry it to another location and try and sell it for more money. There are trading sites on the web that you can use to do this kind of things. But again, you're investing and risking your own money to do that. So there's usually a little bit more profit to be made in something like that, but there's also a higher risk. So if I was going to try and run another mission, I could load up my contracts. Show Moby Glass. Show Moby Glass. And I could see if there was anything to pick up here at, where are we again? HDMS. On Hurston to see if there was anything here for us to pick up, and if there was, we could technically select that offer while we were here and start another round. Okay, but I'm not going to start another round. The other thing I'm going to do, since I'm here, my health is at 42. I could go back to Hurston and try and find some food. I could use a mediped, or since I'm done, and that's going to be the end of this video, I'm just going to backspace here, and that's going to kill myself, but it's going to abandon my ship here. But we should, let's see, where was the last place we landed? HURL2, I believe it was. So we're probably going to spawn back at HURL2. See what it says here. We've entered the jurisdiction UEEE, and we're entered the Armistice Zone. We're probably at HURL2. I'm pretty sure that's the last place we landed, but you can see our nutrition is at 100%. Show Moby Glass. Close Moby Glass. Let's bring this up. So you can see our health is back at 100%. Everything's back at 100%. I'm fine with that. Let's go downstairs and find our ship real quick. and we'll see that our ship is...
Do you ever feel like you're being sucked into a black hole and you have no control over your entire life? Well, now you know how I feel.
Are you upset because I abandoned you and left you on Hurston? Is that what's wrong? Let's see here. So if we go and we look at our cutlass, you can see that it is in an unknown status. It's at the HDMS Hadley, and I could claim it, and we'd have to wait 15 minutes, but it's going to come back fully loaded with fuel, fully repaired, all of those good little things. So I saved myself 1,000 AUEC by doing that. So not really the way you're supposed to play the game, but right now you can. So you want to take every advantage you can not to lose money, because the game's going to take money from you anyway. You will be running a mission and you will spend an hour and, you know, like running cargo, and the game will 30k and you'll lose all your cargo, or something will happen and your ship will blow up for some unknown reason and you will lose all your cargo. So there's going to be times when you lose money in the game, so take advantage of every opportunity that's currently available for you to not spend money, or, you know, if you are going to spend it wisely. Don't just give it away. Alright, so that's it for this video. We completed our mission. Hopefully you learned something there, or, you know, got an idea of how you're going to play the game, or maybe some ideas of how to play the game. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. This was an hour long, and almost an hour and a half long, just to make 8,000 AUEC. So starting off, it's going to be slow going, and we'll take a look at a different kind of mission on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.